So yeah guys, welcome to this video. Synthetic indices. Before I go in, we've talked about foreign exchange for a really long time, and then we mentioned the whole of financial markets, but we did not talk about synthetic indices. The reason I'm introducing synthetic indices to you guys is because this is an untapped part of the financial market. So a lot of people do not realize how much potential is available in the synthetic indices market to make money from. Okay, so synthetic indices are simulated trading instruments. They actually mimic behavior of real financial markets. So they act and operate like real markets, but in the real life, they are actually generated through a generated secure program. Okay, these numbers cannot be guessed. Okay, so you might be thinking, yeah, if these are generated, that means that someone can guess, someone can manipulate it. So these numbers are made in such a way that it cannot be guessed and it cannot be influenced by the broker, for the purpose of transparency. Okay, so like I was telling you guys, I have actually gone through this. I've been trading this for a really long time. As a matter of fact, this has given a whole lot of people the first or the initial capital to invest in other financial markets. People have made tens of thousands from this market. So it's just wise that I introduced it to you guys as well. Okay, so the whole purpose of having synthetic indices in additional to foreign exchange is so that you can have options. The synthetic indices market is open 24/7, 7 days a week, 30 days a month, and for the whole year. There is no closure for the synthetic indices market. So there is always an opportunity to trade. So even when the foreign exchange market is closed, you can just move over to the synthetic indices market, right, during the weekends and trade and make money off it. Okay, so and then it behaves like the real market. Yeah, so in the beginning we talked about I introduced you guys to trading instruments. Okay, example, the MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, and then you guys do not know what the MetaTrader 5 is used for. This is majorly one of the things that stand out for MetaTrader 5. Okay, so MT5, MT5 is only used is the only trading platform that makes synthetic indices available due to the broker. Okay, so the broker for trading this is Deriv, and then you can only use this to trade with MT5, and then you cannot use MT4 to trade synthetic indices basically. Okay, so let's move quickly to look at why you should trade synthetic indices. Okay, and then a whole lot more. So the first one is that we have very low spreads for synthetic indices. If you can remember what spreads are, it's the difference between your ask and bid price, right? So it can be 1 pip, it can be a little less than that, it can be 2 pips. But for synthetic indices, every trade you take almost starts in a profit. Like you rarely notice that there is an extra charge or commission taken from the broker. Okay, because they have very little spreads for the instruments that have spreads. And then you can trade synthetic indices around the clock. Okay, so whenever you want to trade synthetic indices, whenever you feel like trading, whenever you find an opportunity, you can trade the synthetic indices market, because it's open, and like I said earlier, it's open 24/7 and all through the week, all through the month, right? There is no day that it closes. So as soon as this candle is closing for the day, another one is opening, even during the weekend. And they are not affected by fundamental factors like changes in economies, releases from central banks, monetary policies. They are not affected by any type of that thing. So every single thing that you're doing there is purely technical. You take a close look at your chart. If a trading opportunity looks nice to you, and then you feel like you should get in there, you get in and make money from it. Okay, do you understand? And then you have the ability to choose the instrument that you want to trade, because there are some instruments that require that you have a large capital. Okay, there are some that require that you have little capital. Okay, there are some of them that using a really minute lot size, it will still result in large profits values, right? Same thing will be if it eventually goes into a loss, right? So you have the freedom to choose whichever of these instruments that fits you, that fits your financial situation or your equity at that point in time. Okay, so all you really need to do is now to understand the risk to reward characteristics of each of these instruments that are available to you, and you can trade that. And then another thing is high leverage. We talked about leverages a while back, and then you understand that we have leverages like 1:500. Okay, 1:1000. The synthetic indices offers you crazy leverages. Like you have an option to pick even leverages that are mouth-watering. So you can use a very small balance at like $50, right, to control the position that on a normal day you need to have like $100,000 to be able to control that position. So it gives you a high leverage. So that means that we can make so much profit by just having a little amount in our account. And then it cannot be easily manipulated, because of the robust cryptography. There are bodies that are here to make sure that every single day that they are still checking, to make sure that this is not manipulated in any way, and then what you have is what you actually deserve. So in no way are you going to be manipulated out of a trade or anything like that. And then lastly, there is fast order execution. There is this thing that happens with brokers for foreign exchange. Some brokers, especially if you do not pick a good broker, but here in ForexKits Academy, we always introduce you to the broker that we use, and then that comes from testing and understanding how that broker works. But then if you have to go through the journey of looking for brokers on your own, you find out that some brokers have problems with execution. So you get into a trade right now and they will take extra 10 minutes to fill in your order, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 10 seconds. It could be anything, but then it's delayed. Okay, that could make you go into a loss, that could put you in a drawdown, that could make if you got into a trade and then they take like 2 minutes to put the trade out. So that means that 2 minutes after you got into the trade, a whole lot of things could have happened. Price might have moved 10 pips away from where you intended to get in, and eventually when they fill in an order for you, you are now in a loss or in a drawdown. Okay, so this does not happen in the synthetic indices market, because as soon as you get into an order, the order is filled immediately for you. Okay, so and what broker offers synthetic or volatility indices, right? It's only available on derivative right now. So they were previously referred to as binary. Okay, they've been around for decades, right? And then they decided to change, remodel, and then bring in a couple more things, to make it fun, to work with them, right? So derivative is the only broker that offers this. And then in the group chat, you are going to have the video on how to create an account with derivative. Okay, you create your account with derivative, fund the account, and start trading synthetic indices. Okay, that is going to be available to you in the class, the link to create an account. Okay, but this is on synthetic indices. It's just best that you understand that there's not just one opportunity to make money with ForexKits Academy. You can trade the synthetic indices market. We have a playbook actually. Okay, so the playbook is one of the benefits that you get when you join ForexKits Academy, that shows you how to trade the exact strategies that work for trading synthetic indices, the exact strategies, trust me. And then we provide signals for synthetic indices as well. Okay, so a whole lot more on synthetic indices. You learn about that in our premium class. Okay, let's move on to the next thing.